Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Tayyiba and I am from BS English Department 4th semester in St. Madrasatul Islam University. So today I am going to discuss about the types of sentences in Arabic languages and also their comparison with English language. In Arabic, there are several types of sentences. So, firstly, we are going to discuss about the al-akhbariya, that is declarative or informative sentences. So, these are used to convey information or make a statement. So, if we talk about the pattern of al-akhbariya, that is verb, then subject, and then object. In Arabic, it follows the pattern verb, subject, and object. But if we compare it with English, so in declarative sentences, mostly the pattern follows subject, verb, and then object. So let's take one Arabic example, that is Al-Kitab Ali Al-Maktab. So in English, that is the book is on the desk. So if we look at that sentence, so it is following the pattern verb, subject, and then object. But in in comparison of English uses auxiliary verbs like or be, like be or have. Sorry, like be or have to form declarative sentences. But in Arabic, it uses the verb kana to form declarative sentences in the past tense. Okay, let's talk about another example that is from my own side. Number one is alma as-sakil, like that is water is heavy. It is also following the pattern verb, subject, and then object. It's an example of Arabic al-akhbariya. Then we have who yadrasu al-lughat al-arabi, means he studies the Arabic language. And now this following the pattern of comparison to English, like he studies the Arabic language, subject, verb, and then object. So we are going to discuss about another type of sentence, that is al-istifhamiya, interrogative sentences. So these are used to ask question. In Arabic, it follows the pattern particle, verb, subject, and object. So what is particle? Particle like usually hal or a. Like if we see the example in Arabic, hal al-kitab ali al-maktab. In English, that is the book on the desk. Okay, so if we see the comparison of English, it follows the pattern auxiliary verb, then subject, and then main verb, and then object. So English uses the auxiliary verb. Mostly the verb is that do to form interrogative sentence in the present tense. But in Arabic, the particle mostly used, that is hal, to form interrogative sentences. So let's take another example, like hal alma as-sakil, that is water heavy. It is also asking the question but following the pattern particle, verb, subject, and object. Then we have ma asma'al, like what is your name. So these are the types of interrogative sentences. Mostly in istifhamiya, the Arabic words that are used to ask question is ma, man, hal, or a verb in the interrogative form. Now we have third type, that is al-amriya, imperative sentences. These are used to give a command or instruction. These are typically begins with a verb in the imperative form. Like it follows the pattern verb and object. If we see the example in Arabic, that is uktabi ala al-maktab, like write on the desk. It is following the pattern verb and object. If we compare it with in English, so in English, imperative sentences often use the base form of the verb without to. English uses the word please to make a polite command, but in Arabic, it uses the imperative form of the verb to form a command. If I'm giving you the example by my own, that is ashrabal ma, like drink water. It is following the pattern verb and then object. And then we have another example, aktab asmak, like write your name. So it is also following the pattern verb and then object. This is how English sentences are similar to the Arabic sentences. And then we have another example, another type of sentence, that is al sharatiya, conditional sentences. So these sentences are mostly used to express a condition or hypothesis. Like these are typically begins with the particle isa, like lu. These are the particles it mostly followed, uh, which are followed by a verb in the imperfect form, like like al shartiya or conditional sentences in Arabic language follows the pattern particle, verb, subject, and object. The most probably used particle is lu, like low. And if we see that example, low kana low kana lazi katabal qira'a. Let's see the example in Arabic, that is low kana lazi katabal qira'ata. Like in English, if we have if I had a book, I would read it. Like it is following the pattern particle, verb, subject, and object. If we compare this with in English, then it follows the pattern, mostly conditional sentences follows the pattern, that is if, then subject, then verb, and then object. So in English, we uses the auxiliary verb, mostly word, to form conditional sentences. In Arabic sentences, we use the word low to form conditional sentences. Like if we see another example, that is by my own, uh, is like that. إذا جاء الماء أشربه, like if water comes, I will drink it. So it is also following the pattern if, subject, verb, object. Okay. Then we have another example, that is إذا ذهبت إلى المدرسة, like if I go to school, I will study. So let's discuss about another type of sentences, that is al tamaniya, like optative sentences. So al tamaniya is used to express a wish or desire. So this is typically begins with the particle, that is light, light. Okay, so it is following the pattern particle, verb, subject, and then object. So if we see the example, that is laytul kitaba ali al maktab, like I wish the book were on the desk. If we see the comparison with English, so English mostly following the pattern, that is I wish plus subject, then verb, and then object. So mostly English uses the auxiliary verb were to form optative sentences, but in Arabic it uses the particle laita to form a wish or optative sentences. So if we see another example, that is like ليت الماء الثقيل. I wish water were heavy. Then we have second, that is like the zahabta illal madrasa. I wish I could go to school. So if we see both the examples, then these both examples are also following the pattern. I wish, then subject, and then verb, and then we have the object. So if we talk about the another or last type of sentences, that is al nahaya. Al nahaya, prohibitive sentences. So these are used to prohibit or forbid something. These typically begins with the particle la, which is followed by a verb imperfect. So it is also following the pattern particle, verb, and then object. So we are talking about the example, that is La taktaba Ali al maktab, like do not write on the desk. So this is how the examples of Arabic languages are discussed. Then we have comparison of English. So in English, prohibitive sentences often use the pattern, that is do not plus verb and then object. In English, the auxiliary verbs do to form prohibitive sentence is mostly used in present tenses. Like in Arabic, uses the particle la to form prohibitive sentences, which is a more direct and concisive way of concisive way of expressing prohibition. Like Arabic also uses the imperative form of the verb, which is command, to form emphasize the prohibition. Like if we see another example, that is la tashrabal ma, do not drink water. Then la tazhaba illa madrasa, don't go to school. So this is how the types of sentences are given in the Arabic language. So these are from my side. Thank you.